Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Janie Romoff, and I'm the General Manager of Parks, Forestry, and Recreation for the City of Toronto. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse nations, Inuit and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. I'd now like to invite Mayor Tory to provide an update on some very exciting spring break camps. Over to you, Mayor Tory.
Well, Janie, thank you. And first of all, may I say thank you to you and to your team. And I'm, of course, here with Deputy Mayor Thompson, and I know he joins me in saying thank you because what's happened over now, this is now the second round of programs we've had to make considerable changes to, but in order to make sure we could go ahead with programs as opposed to just throwing up our hands and saying we're not going to have programs. And your staff has been terrific all the way through at making the changes necessary, working with Toronto Public Health to make that happen, and making sure we can deliver something, albeit sometimes an abridged version of what we might have done in previous years, to the people that expect us to do that for them. So thank you very much. And we've had, of course, the complete support of the Economic and Community Development Committee, chaired by Deputy Mayor Thompson, who will have a few words to say after I speak. But I just want to begin by saying thank you to you and to your whole team. I don't think people realize all the work that's gone into adapting these programs. So I am excited to announce that the city will be offering Spring Break CampTO during the now rescheduled spring break, which will happen in the week of April the 12th, which the province rescheduled to be the spring break week for students in Toronto. And I know this will be news that will be welcomed by the families across the city. Last year's CampTO was a success. And it provided a sense of relief, a sense of help, a sense of joy, and maybe put a smile on the face of a few of those kids and maybe some of the parents in the process. And we knew that we had to create the same opportunities this year. And we knew, quite frankly, that it was likely, as it turns out to be the case, that we would be faced with public health constraints in putting those programs on. And so what we've done is developed, the staff work has developed both an in-person and a virtual spring camp option for people. The in-person camp will provide a high-quality day camp experience for children ages 6 to 12. Programming will include traditional day camp activities, dance, drama, music, arts, crafts, active games at more than 70 different locations throughout the city, and there's roughly 1,600 spaces available in the in-person spring day camp offering. As was the case with all of our in-person day camp offerings last year, the in-person ones, these camps have been put together with the total involvement of Toronto Public Health, and as a result, focus very much on keeping everyone safe, kids, staff, and anybody else that's involved with it. The new CampTO virtual program is something that is different. It will consist of 45-minute long live and interactive workshops that will be available to campers ages 4 to 12 every day over the course of the same spring break week on the week of April the 12th. The theme in this case is a coast-to-coast trip across Canada, and the workshops will include virtual visits to 5 Canadian cities. These virtual programs will be facilitated by camp staff and will allow kids to explore the diverse food and culture and landmarks of Canada through the interactive games and the creative programming that they put together for the virtual camps. There will be 1,500 spaces available in the virtual camp for people who wish to take up that option. The cost of the camps will be $140 for the in-person option and $6 for each 45-minute virtual workshop. And I think it's important to point out that, as has been the case throughout, in order to make sure that these programs remain accessible and equitable, the city will have subsidies available to families who need financial assistance through the Welcome Policy. What this does is it provides a fee subsidy to lower income families, and if a family is approved, they receive an annual financial credit that can then be spent on a wide variety of different high quality recreational and other kinds of programs offered by the city, including the now March break or April break, the school break camps, so that they can use that credit for this if they wish to do so. The registration for CampTO, both in person and virtual, will take place beginning at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, March the 23rd. And we wanted to give people lots of notice so they can prepare to participate in that registration should they wish to do so for either the in-person or the virtual March break or April break camps. Although the civic centers remain closed to the public, 5 community center locations will be open on March 23rd and 24th for the in-person registration support, and Wi-Fi will be available and staff will be on site to assist with the registration process. And the residents can bring their own devices to the in-person registration sites, but staff will register those who are not able to bring or don't have a device. For more information on these programs, financial help, registration, and so on, residents can visit toronto.ca/camps. I want to emphasize once again, because I think it's really important, that we have taken every possible step to make sure that these programs are healthy and safe. The programs have been designed in consultation with Toronto Public Health and include physical distancing, include daily health screening, mask wearing, and enhanced facility cleaning as part of the measures that we are taking to make sure that everybody involved stays healthy and safe. We saw last year how vital these programs were for kids and families. For summer CampTO programs last year, we had 17,900 registrations and employed 900 recreation workers to deliver the CampTO programs to the kids who took part. And of course, the programs are important to the kids, not just because they can have a smile on their face and have fun, but it's an important part of their socialization as children, that they should be with others. And that applies in particular as well to people who've been studying virtually at home during much of the period leading up to the April spring break. This is one more example among many that our overall city staff, not just to Parks, Forestry, and Recreation, have adapted city programs of one kind or another to make sure that on the one hand, we continue to offer programs, but on the other hand, we do so in a way that respects public health guidelines. And I'm very proud of how nimble we have been as a city, and our city staff have been in making sure we can achieve both of those very important objectives. I want to thank the staff once again for their work in this regard. I'm proud that we're able to offer both in-person and virtual spring break or school break camp options for families dependent upon their own lifestyles and their own choices that they wish to make for themselves and for their children. And so again, my thanks to the city staff who helped to make this possible. And on that note, I would like to ask Deputy Mayor Thompson to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Mayor Tory, and good morning. Last summer, the City of Toronto Parks, Forestry, and Recreation staff raised its game to new heights. Despite the daunting challenge of balancing health COVID-19 guidelines with the need to provide recreational services to children, we managed to develop, adopt, and deliver an impressive array of CampTO programming. For this year's spring break, staff is following up by presenting more excellent CampTO programming. Spring Break Toronto will provide more than 1,600 registered in-person camps, as Mayor Tory has just indicated, and spaces for children between the ages of 6 and 12, and an additional 1,500 space at virtual camp workshops. These camps are a critical piece of our reopening efforts. They provide young people with the important opportunities for social interaction, and they provide essential childcare for parents and caregivers. At camps, children will develop friendship, which is extremely important, social skills, and of course, confidence. They will build self-esteem and of course, develop conflict resolution skills. And they learn to make decisions without the help of their parents. And it's a great opportunity for children to be able to do this. And our camp are offering this opportunity for our children. Camps also offer an opportunity to spend time outdoors and to be physically free from the total dependence of on-screen for learning and entertainment. It is a great opportunity for our children to be outdoors and to be enjoying the fresh air and to be in a supervised and safe environment. And thanks to the variety of activities offered by CampTO, children can try challenging activities that teaches them new skills, as well as these skills will take them out of their comfort zones and give them that level of confidence and understanding to undertake challenges that they obviously would not otherwise have. And this is a great opportunity for our children. The City of Toronto believes that it is important for children to experience the benefits of camps this spring break. With healthcare guidelines in place, of course, to control the spread of COVID-19, it's very important for everyone to understand, as the mayor has pointed out, a difficult situation through this particular period, we're fully aware that we need to ensure that our children are in a safe space and environment. I want to thank all of our amazing staff under the leadership of Janie Romoff, as well as to thank Howie Dayton. The staff at PFNR have worked so hard to ensure that this session of CampTO is possible. So thank you so much for your dedication and your work. Providing compelling programming within strict public health guidelines is not an easy task. And so you have in fact succeeded with great distinction. On behalf of all of those amazing young people who will be participating in CampTO, I say thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Bienvenue.
Well, thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson and Mayor Tory. I also want to acknowledge the great work of Howie Dayton, the Director of Community Recreation, who I know is also available to answer questions, and just comment that we're excited to launch these programs this year. So we'll head over to the Q&A now, which I think will be coordinated through Lavem Hadisi. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. As a reminder, it's one question, one follow-up, but please unmute yourself when we call your name. First up, we have Matt Bingley from Global. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I apologize. I got kicked off the call for a moment, so I apologize if I asked this something that was already brought up. But I'm just wondering if for the in-person camps, if these are being planned under the assumption that we are out of the gray zone and not being affected by a potential third wave.
I can take that. That's correct. It is into the gray zone. One of the things you're allowed to do in the gray zone is actually offer day camps. So it's under those provisions. If those regulations change, then obviously we would have to reassess what those program offerings are, which is what we've been doing, from the start of this COVID response.
Thanks. And to follow up on the virtual classes, who has developed these lessons, and I'm just wondering what kind of production is going into it, so it's not just kids, sort of watching another thing on another screen and then not really having as much interaction, or vice versa, having to use their imagination as much as they already have.
Great question. Thanks, Matt. I'm going to actually ask Howie Dayton, who I know has been very involved in the production of this virtual programming approach, to answer. Go for it, Howie.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the question. We have developed a production plan around these virtual programs, trained staff, and set up production hubs across the city. So it's going to be a professional experience for our participants. And we've developed our programming, as we do with all programming, in terms of really trying to engage children, even though it's virtually, through interactive games and crafts and stories, and so we are quite confident that it'll be an exciting program, and we've been piloting some this winter that have been going really, really well. So we're looking forward to it and think the kids will have a great time.
Next up, we have Janice Golding from CTV. Janice, let us know if you have a question. You'll just need to unmute yourself.
Hi, no, I actually do not have a question. Thank you.
Okay. And then we also had CP24 assignment desk join. If you have a question, please unmute yourself. Okay. And then lastly, we have Natalie Johnson from CTV. Natalie, if you have a question, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Natalie, do you have a question?
Oh, sorry, guys. I was just joining to watch. I'm okay for questions.
Oh, okay. So that brings us to the end of this press conference. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a great day.
Thanks again to the staff. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Everyone.